We were in Qatar, of course we were. To our show with Simon came live from Qatar every morning, 10 to 1. 8 months on from that World Cup and the quarter-final exit, how much reflecting have you done?
Well, we did a lot in the immediate aftermath. And then, of course, you're on to the next challenges because we were into qualifying and we had to go to Italy and prepare for a high-level opponent away from home, which are the sorts of games we haven't nailed. So, haven't nailed as regularly as we would want to if we were going to be the best team in the world. So, I haven't over the last few months thought too much about the World Cup. In our head, we're on to the next challenge. But my feelings aren't much different to they were walking off the pitch that night. When I watched the games back and watched all of the tournament back and reflect on it, I feel pretty much as I did then. We performed at a good level. I think our performances during the tournament were a step up from where we'd been. We won the games we should win. And in the end, we should have beaten France on the flow of that game, and all the stats from that game would say it's a game we should have won. So I think people responded well to how we'd played. But from our side, we thought it was an acceptable tournament. We weren't coming back doing cartwheels about it.
It was acceptable.
Yeah.
It was acceptable. You won the games that you should have won.
Yeah, I would say so.
And maybe the ones that you might have expected to be up against it a bit, you didn't win. Is that fair? I mean, do you worry your legacy will end up being a glorious failure?
I think that depends on how you define success, because where the team were in 2016 and the sort of team that we went with in 2018, and to get as far as we did in 2018, and people will talk about the opposition, and we didn't beat Belgium, but when we played Belgium we'd already qualified, and when we played them again it was a third, fourth playoff where we'd played only 2 days before. So yeah. So you'll always be judged as an England manager on the how you go on in tournaments, and the games where you go out, there'll be an analysis at a level that's beyond anything that any club is going to have. We've of course analysed all of that, and we've improved as we've gone on. We improved from that World Cup in Russia to the Euros. I think we were able to change and be more on the front foot in this World Cup. The profile of the team is changing and evolving. Team is still improving. That's all we can aim to do. We've got to keep aiming to get better. And if you're in those latter stages, in the end, England will win a tournament. So
is it more about progression than actually winning a trophy, Gareth? You say there, if you're thereabouts at the end, one of those times you're going to nail a tournament and win it. That's what you've been trying to do. Yes, progression is extremely important, but winning's everything.
No, of course. In the end, you have to win. To be judged as a success, you have to win. But you've got to take steps towards winning. At any club, in any team, you don't go from we were 14th in the world to winning overnight. It can happen by chance, but normally the teams that win World Cups have had big results over a period of time. Argentina were South American champions. Spain, when they won, were consistent winners. France have been ranked high for a number of years. We're now in that bracket of teams. Of course, I know in the end, some people will say, if you don't win a trophy, that's it. But we've only got 3 opportunities across 6 years to win a tournament. At a club, you've got 3 or 4 trophies every year to go for. So yeah, it's a slightly different situation, but I accept that's the landscape as it is.
What made you stay on in the job post Qatar? Because there was talk you might go, and I know you discuss it with your family. You no doubt discuss it with this fella to my right. Yeah. What was key to your decision, which led you to stay?
The players we felt were improving, that we could see the evolution of the team. In the end, the most important thing is, are the players and staff buying into what you're doing, and do we think we can still make a difference and make the team a success? So the only doubt in my head ahead of that tournament was on the back of the previous summer. Yeah. the sort of criticism that came. It's not the criticism that bothered me. That goes with this job. But if that criticism starts to affect the performance of the team and starts to inhibit the team, then it's maybe time. I've seen that with managers where maybe it's time to allow the team to go, and you need to lift that pressure off them.
Understood, but that time hasn't come.